let's focus on the big ticket announcements that were made today by Tejasvi Yadav, where he practically said that he's going to give a job to every household in the state of Bihar. Will it be logistically possible? Well, the RJD says yes, but let's take all the questions related to that, and also the Jan Suraj coming out with its first list. To our panelists this evening, joining me, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party; Pawan Kumar Verma, General Secretary and Chief Spokesperson of Jan Suraj; Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Spokesperson, JDU; Dr. Anshul Avijit, National Spokesperson, Congress; and Sarika Paswan, Spokesperson, RJD. Let's begin with Sarika Paswan. Sarika Paswan, where are you going to get the money is what is being questioned. Many suggest this is a classic sign of desperation. You're trying to outdo the NDA in its slew of announcements where the cash direct transfers were concerned.
बिल्कुल सेम क्वेश्चंस जो है नीतीश कुमार जी ने हमसे पूछा था जब तेजस्वी यादव जी ने कहा था कि हम 10 लाख नौकरी पहली कैबिनेट की बैठक में देंगे, तो यही माननीय मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी ने कहा था कहां से लाके देगा, अपने बाप के घर से पैसे लाके देगा। लेकिन तेजस्वी यादव जी ने प्रूफ किया और महज 17 महीने के शासनकाल में उन्होंने लगभग 5 लाख से अधिक नौकरी देने का काम किया। और आज बिहार वासी जो है एज अ नौकरी मैन तेजस्वी यादव जी को देखते हैं और जानते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि इच्छा शक्ति होनी चाहिए। अगर आपकी बिहार वासियों को रोजगार देने का इच्छा होता तो निश्चित रूप से 20 साल की ये सरकार उन्हें रोजगार देती। मैं आपको कुछ आंकड़े दिखाना चाहूंगी कि आज भी बिहार में लगभग, अगर हम पुलिस कर्मियों की बात करें तो 1500 पे अभी हमारे एक पुलिसकर्मी है, जो उसका रेशियो है वो 850 पे एक पुलिसकर्मी होना चाहिए। अगर मैं डॉक्टर्स की बात करूं तो आज भी डॉक्टर लगभग 2200 पे एक डॉक्टर हैं, जबकि WHO के अनुसार प्रत्येक 1000 व्यक्ति के ऊपर एक डॉक्टर होना चाहिए। सेम अगर मैं टीचर पे बात करूं तो टीचर भी आज बिहार में लगभग 60 बच्चों पे एक टीचर है, हालांकि 28 या 30 बच्चों पे एक टीचर होना चाहिए। यानी कि ये आंकड़े मैं इसलिए दे रही हूँ कि अभी भी बिहार सरकार के कई ऐसे विभाग हैं जहां ऑलरेडी वैकेंट पोस्ट है, जिससे तेजस्वी यादव जी ने जब 5.5 लाख नौकरी दिया था उन्होंने, उसके बाद भी उन्होंने कई ऐसे विभाग है जहां की नौकरियों को इम्पैनल्ड किया था, रिक्त भर्तियों को सिर्फ और सिर्फ भरनी थी। लेकिन बिहार सरकार अभी इतने महीनों के बीतने के बाद भी उन्होंने उन रिक्तियों को भर नहीं पाया। और अभी देखिए तेजस्वी यादव जी कह रहे हैं कि हम प्रत्येक घर में एक रोजगार नहीं, नौकरी, सरकारी नौकरी देंगे। 5.5 लाख नौकरी जो पूर्व में दी गई वो लगभग 5.5 लाख घरों को नौकरी दी गई। और अभी भी जिन भी घरों में नौकरियां नहीं है, मैं इसको स्पष्ट कर दूं, जहां एनडीए कहती है रोजगार देंगे वहां तेजस्वी यादव
आपका टाइम अप हो गया है। 2 मिनट के बाद आपका टाइम खत्म हो जाता है, आपके पास वापस आएंगे। Sanju Verma, the questions that you're asking today could be the questions that could be asked of the BJP and the NDA alliance as well, leave alone the direct cash transfer of Jivika Didi Yojana, which is 10,000 rupees. You've also promised dole to the unemployed. Where's the money coming from? Same question, ma'am.
You know, Preeti, let's get one thing very clear. सिर्फ इच्छा शक्ति होने से कुछ नहीं होता. You need to have bona fide intent and you have to have the ability to execute big ticket projects which finally translate into employability and employment opportunities for the youngsters. Bihar today has a GSDP of more than 11 lakh crore. Unemployment in the last 2 years alone is down more than 4.3%. Inflation is barely 3%. And more importantly, I want to share some data with you. When the Congress was in power from 1980-81 to 1989-90, the average GDP of Bihar was 4.42%. Come RJD, when Lalu Yadav took over as chief minister in 1990 and then had to resign in 97, and Rabdi Devi took over and ruled all the way till 2005 before Nitish Kumar came in. Between 1990 and 2005, under RJD, the GDP average of Bihar was 3.08%, the worst that it has ever been in the last 4 or 5 decades. And now, under the BJP-led NDA, since 2005 to as we speak currently, the average GDP has been 7.91%. This data is there in Niti Aayog reports. It's not data that I'm doffing off my hat. So the BJP, in terms of GSDP, has done a phenomenal job. And let me tell you something. Bihar की बात करेंगे तो ये भी बात करिए 1.25 crore Jal Jeevan connections given to Bihari households. Talk about more than 2 crore Biharis getting the benefit of Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Yojana. Talk about the fact that more than 57 lakh women get the benefit of Ujjwala Yojana in Bihar. Talk about the fact that more than 64 lakh houses have been built in Bihar alone under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Talk about the fact that more than 6.5 crore people in Bihar get the benefit of Pradhan
Okay, ma'am,
Mantri.
time is up. 2 minutes over. I'll come back to you. I'm going to cut across to the Congress spokesperson because, promising 5 lakh jobs in 2020 is very different than promising 2.5 crore households government jobs. Now, how is that even possible? Well, one needs to explain that. But before that, I want to just quickly bring in Pawan Verma ji, General Secretary of Jan Suraj. And sir, the question I want to ask you in all of this is, there's so much chatter. Is Prashant Kishore fighting the election or not fighting the election? You've come up with your 51 seats, the candidate names, but the question still remains because the buzz is that what many say that Prashant Kishore is chickening out, won't fight this election.
There is no question of it. Prashant Kishore is not chickening out. As promised, we came out with our first list of candidates. There was no unedifying bargaining for power, as you saw with the two Gathbandhans. We have come out with a list. The list will surprise most people. As far as the NDA and the Mahagatbandhan are concerned, what we are seeing now is a downpour of what I can only call Jumlas. Tejasvi Yadav says he'll provide a job to every household. There are 2.97 crore households in Bihar, which means that he will provide close to 3 lakh crore jobs. In all of Bihar now, only 1.5% of the population has government jobs. That amounts to about 22 lakhs or 25 lakhs. What he's then saying is that he will provide 3 crore 25 lakh jobs in government. Where is the budget coming from? The current debt on Bihar is close to 4 lakh crore 25 lakhs. 4 lakh crores. The daily debt on it, the payment of interest is 63 crores. They don't have the money, they don't have a scheme, and how can you give jobs to 3 crore people, which means that you will pay them job, money and pension, salary and pensions for no job to do, because 1/4 of Bihar will almost be occupied in government jobs. As far as the BJP is concerned, it does show a governance deficit. When you, 1 hour before the model code of conduct, you do direct benefit transfer of 10,000 rupees to 21 lakh women, it is frankly unethical and to my mind is almost at a tantamount to bribery. If you have a consistent good governance record, you don't have to do such things so unethically. So both the parties are trying to make up for what they have not done by these kind of jumlas. Jan Suraj and Prashant Kishore are the only parties that are fighting on issues. We have released our list and we are moving confidently forward.
Sir, I'm going to circle back to you for 2 more minutes. I believe you need to go, but I'm going to just bring in our other panelists before that. I want to come to Dr. Sanjay Kumar because, we ended on that Jan Suraj has come up with 51 names. Dr. Sanjay Kumar, a deeper dive on these 51 names will reveal that 17 of those names, or rather 18 of the 51 candidates are EBCs, and about 3 to 4 are Mahadalits. So 20 to 21 of the 51 today released are directly targeting at your vote bank. The fear, many say, Dr. Kumar, is that what the LJP did to you in 2020, the Jan Suraj could do to you in 2025.
Okay, so Preeti, thanks for asking this. I also wanted to speak about Jan Suraj. So, the kind of list they have come out with, giving EVC is fine. That's perfectly fine. And as we feel that it's not going to cut our vote for sure, because our presence among EBC is very, very strong. If you look at the kind of tickets that they have shared, they have given, like Prashant Kishore has been talking about Parivarvad in RJD and in other parties. He has given ticket to Lata Singh, who is also daughter of RCP Singh. So that's one. Then, he has been talking about the quality of candidates. I don't know if you have heard the song by Ritesh Pandey. You should definitely listen to his song. And the kind of song he has sung in Bhojpuri, the vulgar song, and he has got a ticket. And then, someone with just 10th class pass. So, the claim he has been making that we are going to put different kind of candidates, it's not true from their list. So you are going to see what kind of candidates it's all about. And ultimately, he said that he will not play the caste politics, but he is also trying to do that. So where did he find the educated, so-called educated candidates? There are no, so he is also banking on EBCs or caste-based politics in Bihar. So whatever he promised, whatever he did put forward, that he will bring a change in the candidates, it's all false. You look at their candidates and, you find all of these in their candidates. So it's not like that.
Okay. All right. But like I said, Dr. Kumar, about 17 to 18 EBCs, 3 to 4 Mahadalits, this is exactly the core vote bank of what the JDU stands for. But I'm going to come back to that. I just want to bring in Dr. Anshul Avijit, National Spokesperson, Congress. Dr. Avijit, grand promises made today by your ally. Where in the world is that money going to come from? When you promised 5 lakh jobs last time around, questions were raised then itself. But now, it's not just 5 lakh jobs. You're actually, giving government jobs, and that 5 lakh has been converted into at least 2.5 crores, if not nearly 3 crores.
Preeti, it sounds like a very bold and a sweeping announcement, but this was really the need of the hour, the call of the moment. We supported. Congress, of course, will come out with its own manifesto, but this is what was required at a time when Bihar has been brought to the brink. I mean, it's been reduced to rubble, and there was no other choice. There was no other choice with the Mahagatbandhan or its allies to announce something like this. Unemployment has peaked. The economic data of Bihar is a roll call of absolute shame. Some of it was enlisted. Where are you going to get the money? That's an excellent question. No doubt there will be challenges ahead about this. But one thing that has gone unnoticed in this entire announcement is the idea of social justice, right? When you provide government jobs, you're also providing social justice and going ahead with the fundamental Mahagatbandhan agenda of social justice and economic equity, both hand in hand. Government jobs gives reservations to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and the OBCs in that manner, which private jobs cannot. So here there is a composite program of social and economic justice. Listen, the government departments here have been completely lying inactivated and energyless. To expand the economic sphere in this, those departments will be activated, there will be more energy, and therefore that will require more recruitment. When recruitment will require, that will expand the economic base of the state to an extent where industry grows, where there is more employment, where there is more money in the hands of the poor and demand increases. Unemployment is the biggest problem. On the back of this, the 2020 elections were fought. We lost out narrowly. The difference between was only 12,000. This is again the agenda of both those governments and will remain so as long as this government is in power.
So, the fact is, social justice is a great catchphrase, but where are the coffers to actually fill that kind of promise? And that's a question that, leave alone what Bihar will battle with, it's a question that your ally, not your ally, your own chief minister, the Congress chief minister today in Telangana openly states that he's burdened with all the promises that were made in terms of cash transfers and other SOPs, that he has nothing left to actually push or rev up the economic engines of the state of Telangana, something that was admitted by your own chief minister. I want to quickly bring in the Jan Suraj spokesperson for 2 minutes because he needs to go, and we'll go back to our, give the other panelists 2 minutes again. But Mr. Verma, to get you back in before we let you go, I'll circle back to a question which is a tad bit uncomfortable. 11th October is when Prashant Kishore starts the party campaign from the constituency of Tejasvi Yadav. Question still remains, sir. Will he fight this election or not?
I am telling you categorically that he will. 1. 2, the comments on our list. So long, For a long time now, our opponents have been saying that our list will consist of candidates which they have rejected. Put your finger on one candidate who has been a rejected candidate from any of these alliances. We have picked up relatively new faces, faces with credibility. We haven't gone strictly only on caste lines. We have created a list which is a blueprint to implement our plan, structured plan for enduring change in Bihar, and we shall go ahead. The very fact that we were the first party to bring out the list is in itself an indication of the seriousness with which we are going into the elections, and with a blueprint, not merely Jumlas. Preeti, I must really go now, but with your kind permission.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you for giving us your time. I want to cut across right now to the RJD spokesperson, and we'll bring in Sanju Verma at the back of that. But, coming back to the RJD spokesperson in midst of all of this, where Sarika Paswan, there were certain questions that were raised by the BJP spokesperson. I know you wanted to come in on that, so go ahead and answer. But having said that, let me add two more points to what Sanju Verma stated. A, of course, the number of jobs that you are promising, government jobs, one doesn't really understand how it's even possible. So take those 2 minutes, Sarika Paswan, today and tell our viewers the economics behind it. Explain it to us, ma'am.
उन्होंने पूछा था संजू वर्मा जी ने कि अपॉर्चुनिटीज कहाँ से आएगी और सिर्फ इच्छा शक्ति से नौकरी नहीं दी जा सकती है। तो अपॉर्चुनिटीज के बारे में मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बताया कि कई हमारे ऐसे विभाग है जहां ऑलरेडी रिक्तियां हैं, देने की जरूरत है, और हमने तो दी है भाई, हमने तो ऑलरेडी नजीर पेश की है। और कहते हैं ना कि प्रत्यक्ष को प्रमाण की आवश्यकता नहीं होती, प्रमाण के साथ हम यहाँ बैठे। और एक और चीज मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगी पारुल की कई ऐसे विभाग हैं जहां आज भी रिटायर्ड लोग जो है ना उन विभागों को संभाल रहे हैं। बड़े आश्चर्य की बात है कि मोदी जी, नीतीश जी की गवर्नमेंट ऐसी है कि जिनकी की 2 साल 3 साल पहले जो रिटायर हो चुके हैं और प्रति वर्ष लोग रिटायर हो रहे हैं, और इतनी रिक्तियां हैं अभी कई विभागों में। मुझे लगता है अगर सही मायने में अगर आज दे दी जाती तो शायद ये इतनी अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बिहार में नहीं होती। अब इच्छा शक्ति की बात करें तो देखिए मोदी जी ने तो कहा था कि भाई 2 करोड़ नौकरियां वो बिल्कुल केंद्र सरकार में उन्होंने अनाउंसमेंट किया था। इच्छा शक्ति तो थी नहीं मोदी जी में, इसलिए वो दे नहीं पाए, और हमारे में इच्छा शक्ति थी तो हम भाई दे के पाए। फर्क है, यही फर्क है महागठबंधन और एनडीए की इच्छा शक्ति में। तेजस्वी यादव जी ने आर्थिक न्याय की लड़ाई शुरू की है, जिस तरीके से लालू प्रसाद यादव जी ने सामाजिक न्याय की लड़ाई लड़ी थी, जिसको कि कई लोगों की आंखों में चुभा। और आज जो तेजस्वी यादव जी ने आज अनाउंसमेंट किया है कि हर बिहारी के घर में एक सरकारी नौकरी होगा यानी कि होगा। और तेजस्वी यादव जी ने पहले भी खुद को प्रूव किया है, उनके वर्ड्स जो होते हैं वो सिर्फ कहने के लिए नहीं होते हैं, जुमले नहीं होते हैं, प्रोपेगेंडा नहीं होता है। उन्होंने अपने हर एक वादे को पूरा पहले भी किया है, और बिहार की जनता को उनके कहे गए हर एक वर्ड पे भरोसा है, बिलीव है। और इसीलिए हम कह रहे हैं कि बिहार की जनता की 2025 में सरकार बनने वाली है। तेजस्वी जी के साथ ही साथ बिहार के जो 13-14 करोड़ जनता है उनकी सरकार बिहार में बनेगी। तो निश्चित रूप से तेजस्वी यादव ने जो वादे कहे वो पूरे, और वो हमारे पास ब्लू मैप है, बिल्कुल ब्लूप्रिंट है हमारे पास, वो हम बताना नहीं चाहते क्योंकि अभी
ओके मैम, आपका टाइम अप हो चुका है। I want to cut across to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, you know, there's a classic saying, good for the goose, good for the gander. If the Bharatiya Janata Party can come out on the eve of elections and make promises or transfers to the effect of 10,000 and you cumulate both, it will come down to 1 crore women or 1 crore households, then so can the RJD. Promises are promises. And then you're also promising dole for the unemployed. RJD says at least we are offering jobs.
Okay, Preeti, can I start?
Go ahead, ma'am.
थैंक यू। हिंदी में कहावत है, ये प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने 2 साल पहले लोकसभा में कहा था, एंड आई वुड लाइक टू रीइंफोर्स दैट। तुम्हारे पांव के नीचे जमीन नहीं है, तुम्हारे पांव के नीचे जमीन नहीं है, लेकिन कमाल तो ये है तुम्हें यकीन नहीं है। The entire opposition, including the Congress, which is a non-entity in Bihar in any case, and the RJD, they have no clue what is awaiting them come November 14th. यहां बैठकर मैं बार-बार सुन रही हूं जुमला जुमला जुमला। So let me tell you something, Preeti. Let your audience be a fair judge. बख्तियारपुर तिलैया रेल लाइन doubling and electrification being done by whom? Double engine Modi Sarkar. Bhagalpur, Dumka, Rampur Hat rail line being electrified and doubled by whom? The double engine Sarkar of BJP led NDA. फिर बात करते हैं resurrection of Nalanda University via a 450-acre zero green campus with no carbon emission. किसने किया? प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने. फिर बात करते हैं पटना सासाराम कॉरिडोर किसने बनवाया? मोदी सरकार ने. सेकंड एम्स कमिंग अप एट दरभंगा, कौन काम कर रहा है इस पर? मोदी सरकार, डबल इंजन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ बीजेपी लेड एनडीए. फिर बात करते हैं मेडिकल कॉलेजेस कमिंग अप एट गया, छपरा एंड पूर्णिया, कौन ये काम कर रहा है? मोदी सरकार, डबल इंजन सरकार ऑफ बीजेपी लेड एनडीए. एंड आई वांट टू टेल यू समथिंग. इट वाज नीतीश कुमार who started the concept of self-help groups in Bihar in 2006. And thanks to Prime Minister Modi, more than 3 lakh crore has been given in the last 11 years to over 2 lakh gram panchayats in Bihar, and 30,000 new panchayat bhavans have been constructed. Isliye RJD
Okay, ma'am, time is up. Ma'am, time is up. I want to let's bring in the Congress spokesperson and Anshul Avijit. For somebody who comes from Bihar, I understand that you want to speak of social justice and social equity, but it needs to correspond with the economics of what makes sense in a state. The state is already in crores, lakhs of crores of debt.
Absolutely, and who's to blame for it? I mean, you've been pushed to the very edge. The economy has fallen off the cliff, and therefore you have to push to be making these announcements. I was wondering for a time when things like unemployment, health, education would enter the lexicon of electoral politics. I'm glad it has now, but at what cost? I mean, at 20 years cost of a ruinous Bihar. You were pushed to making these kind of announcements. We will carry them through because there is an intent behind it. But let me ask, the NDA certain questions. I mean, in 15th August, Nitish Kumar promised 12 lakh government jobs before the elections got over. He said, no, I'm going to provide them government jobs before the elections. Where are they? How many appointments have taken place? Talk about, this is for the future, right? We have made promises which we will fulfill. और इस बात की भी पुष्टि हो चुकी है, जो हम कहते हैं वो करते हैं. वहां पर कर्नाटक में भी किया, तेलंगाना में भी किया, जिन राज्यों में हम चुन के आए वापस, वहां पर हमने ऐसा किया, तो हम ये जरूर करेंगे. There should be no doubt about it. But what have they done? The Prime Minister promised 75,000 crores of investment for industry. Not a penny has come through. Look at the state of industry there. You go to a place called Musallapur Hat in Patna, right? It's full of coaching centers, and number of young boys and girls come there with the hope that they want to find the fastest exit route out of Bihar, because there are simply no jobs, there is no industry, the per capita is absolutely the worst. Poverty is 33%. In all economic indicators, Bihar is absolutely the lowest. And that is the sad situation of Bihar. We have made these promises on the back of this kind of a ruinous, disastrous Bihar, which has taken 20 years. It takes 20 years for a new terminal to be built at Bihar Airport, which the Prime Minister comes and inaugurates. Very gracious of him to do that. But one promise after another in the final year, never going to materialize. Bihar needs change.
All right, the JDU spokesperson there, I want to get him into this conversation. So, it comes down to one thing. Why shouldn't? Because today you have every reason to call out the announcements made or the promises, poll promises made by Tejasvi Yadav. But a little bit of reflection could also do good, because it's a little rich. On the eve of before elections were called, you transferred 10,000 rupees to 21 lakh women and households. Before that, you did it with 75. This is in a state where 60% of that state monthly income is less than 10,000 rupees. Why should it not today be viewed as a direct bribe? You are the ones who spoke of Revdi. This is far worse than Revdi.
So, Preeti, there is a difference between Revdi and welfare schemes, and also when you plan to empower a certain group, social group, and in this case, women. So, and it's not a new thing that the Nitish government did for women, and this plan was going on for some time. It was announced few months ago. it took a little while to distribute the money because direct benefit transfers also take some time. You need to register, you need to apply, and then it happens. Then you get the money transferred. So it took some time. We don't think that it's a bribe, and it's really opposite. If you look at the empowering model of the Nitish government, and if we compare it with the baseline of 2005, it's 100% empowerment of women that has happened in the state, the economic empowerment of women. And if people, in different parties, if they don't like this fact that women are being supported, and believe me, it's not going to end here. It's not only 10,000, because they are going to get more support if, once they develop their own businesses. There are reports coming in from ground where women have already started doing their business, and it's a continuation of a program. They are becoming part of the Jivika, and they are starting their enterprise, and with this 10,000, they will utilize this money and they will get more money to build their business. So it's a empowerment continuity which is taking place. There is nothing new in this. This is not a robbery or something else. This is a pure empowerment, empowerment in continuity, which never happened during RJD and Congress regime, and which is happening now. And that is what they are not liking about it, because every woman is being benefited.
Sir, time is up, and I need to close the show because the fact is, the matter is in the top court of the country, and let's hope we hear something there. Otherwise, we're going to only see this. You call it rabdi, revdi, welfare scheme, SOPs, anything that you might, or bribes. But it's one thing has been made clear, that elections have become highly transactional. We're going to leave it at that. I appreciate all four of you for joining us.